Hi, everybody. Welcome to your channel Weekly Wisdom for the week of July 7th, 2025. If you don't know me, I'm Tracy Rainwaters, an animal communicator and interspecies intuitive channel where I love to build bridges of understanding between the animal kingdom, the spiritual realm, and all of the magical and mystical. So, this week, our message is coming from the consciousness of dolphins. And whenever I see the dolphins, much like all of the cetaceans, I see their third eye is always glowing, like this beautiful orb of light coming from the center of their forehead. And really, the energy that the dolphins were bringing this week was one of there was a lot of clarity of they were very intentional about wanting to connect, and there was a lot of clarity and deep intention in their message for you guys this week. So I've got quite a bit of notes here from the dolphins, but they came in and they were very clear that they're coming in with this energy of clarity and enlightenment. And they say that one of their purposes on the planet is to bring the energy of change, of conscious will, and the absolute belief that all will be well. And that's what I felt from the dolphins. Like there was this deep acknowledgement that all of the planet and what we're experiencing as humans, like we are really in the messy middle of a lot of deep change. And they were really acknowledging how dysregulating that can be, how uncertain we're all feeling. And they were really like part of the clarity was very much that, like, it's okay right now to not feel okay, but how can we bring some clarity to all of our states of being? And it felt like if what you can acknowledge and have a lot of clarity around is like, man, I don't feel okay right now, they were like, great, that's like a good foothold. Like, what else can you bring a lot of clarity to? And they really were acknowledging for humanity as well. They were saying, knowing that you're in the midst of great change doesn't necessarily make it easier, and that's okay. It's okay to kind of extend that compassion and grace to yourself that you may be feeling a lot of uncertainty. And that's okay. And it doesn't make this change process any easier. And it's okay to feel like you may be struggling with how much change is occurring on the planet right now. And they were really, sending this frequency to all humanity, that do not downplay what is being required of all of us right now. They were saying it's a very intense time of deep focus, and I really saw this image of all of the beings on the planet, whether they're four-legged, two-legged, whether they swim in the waters. Like there's this intense focus and awareness of what is happening and where do we want to go? Like, how do we want this to end up? So, and they were really showing me this image of like timelines colliding or collapsing in on themselves. And they were saying, part of what we're feeling that feels so dizzying at times is that the past, the present, and the future are all sort of colliding right now. Like, if we really think of time as not being linear, it's like they're all kind of merging within themselves. So it can feel like old patterns from the past, like really showing up in the outer world right now. It could feel like this, almost like a hope or an excitement for the future, even though things feel really dysregulating right now. Like perhaps things could be down the road a lot better than what we've had before. And that makes the present like really confusing. And so they're acknowledging that there is like a merging of timelines. We could almost say like time is collapsing in and of itself, but it is this great reorganization that's happening on the planet. So that's where they come into clarity, and they're saying deep clarity is needed. And it's clarity around like, who are you? What do you stand for? And how do you wish to represent humanity at this time? And to me, this is like the fundamental piece. How do you wish to be a representative of humanity? And what would those actions in the world look like? And they were saying that we all leave a mark on this world, regardless of how you may feel, in your day to day life, that each being that is here on the planet has an intention and a purpose, and we all have the ability to positively affect that which exists around us. And they were saying that we as individuals, like anyone listening to this or watching this, you are not insignificant. And they were saying, like, very directly, like wealth, fame, far reaching power are not the only way to impact this life and this world. And do not underestimate the power that you hold within and your ability to create beautiful, positive ripples out into the world. And they were talking about this collective heartbeat of the earth, and all of living life is moving into change. There's this deep evolution that's happening amongst all species and all life here on planet Earth. So they were showing me, and they described like this effervescent force that is really wanting to come up and into the consciousness and into the felt energy on this planet. And it felt really beautiful. It felt really divine. And it was an energy that was really here to lift and lighten our hearts. And they were saying that we are all linked to this force, this beautiful, they really refer to it as like the heartbeat of consciousness that exists here on the planet. So they were saying because we are all linked to this collective heartbeat, we all have the ability to really decide like what is the energetic contribution that we want to make in that. And that in all the small ways that we can do that, it really does create, it like amplifies this beautiful heartbeat of energy that is existing through all life on the planet. And they were saying, show up for all that you love. And small, heartfelt steps do create forward momentum. So do not undervalue the small little actions that we make on this planet because they have a huge impact. So they were talking about this great cosmic heartbeat, and they showed me an image of like these electrical pulses moving through the planet. We know that NASA, I think it was in 2022, so just a few years ago, they were able to detect this repeating, it's like fast radio wave that is, so it's repeating and it is moving through the planet. And it was something that could be measured, felt, and also observed. And it happens every zero point 0.2 seconds. And so that's what the dolphins were pointing me to. So on one hand, we have the scientific way of looking at this, like I would call it like this heartbeat of consciousness. You know, it is what allows consciousness of all species, of all beings to be unified on the planet. It's what allows, or it's one of the factors that allows intuitive communication. It's like this heartbeat that links all life here on planet Earth. And the more that we can acknowledge within ourselves that we are all united, that we are all like we are connected to nature, we're connected to everything, it puts this really beautiful connective energy into this great cosmic heartbeat that creates this amplification of energy that we all benefit from. And it really feels to me like that is one of the ways that we change the collective consciousness, that we, with our intention, with our focus, and with our energy, we can create change on this planet. So, and they wanted me to leave with, you know, they're really asking for all of us to really be open to shifting our perspective from feeling helpless and maybe small and insignificant and like, what can I do as one person, to really being participatory into like, what am I energetically contributing to all of life? So, anyway, I wish you guys all a beautiful week ahead.